This one insurance problem is costing homeowners thousands of dollars across the country. And today, we're gonna show you how to solve this problem so it doesn't ever happen to you. So let's get started. But before we do, make sure to share, subscribe, and like the channel so others can find the same valuable content. I'm Chris Green, the flood insurance guru. More than a decade ago, I bought a house in this flood zone right here, and guess what? I was told the wrong flood zone, I was told the wrong premium. I had a lot of misinformation, and it cost me thousands of dollars. And in today's video, we're showing you how to solve a similar problem that's costing homeowners across the country thousands of dollars. So if you're a real estate agent that helps homeowners, or you're a homeowner yourself, make sure to watch the entire video today. So the problem that we're talking about today are actually when it comes to flood insurance claims. Now, this particular situation we're discussing actually happened in Florida, but it can happen anywhere across the country, and we see it happen every day. And we're talking about a particular story that was just run on a local news station in Florida about a flood insurance claim where a homeowner was out thousands of dollars. Here, go ahead and watch part of this video right here, and as soon as it's over, make sure to stay tuned because we're going to discuss how you can avoid this happening to you.
It is just laughable. That's what a town and country couple is calling the reason their insurance company says their living room is not covered by their flood insurance policy.
They say their adjuster with the National Flood Insurance Program says FEMA considers the room a basement. Consumer investigator Shanna Benkin is live in studio with us tonight to try and explain.
Keith, Stacey, this family calls this a loophole to deny coverage. Tonight, I'm looking into how this could happen and how widespread this problem could be. After 12 years of faithfully paying for flood insurance, Jamie Jane Grande Holcomb and her husband filed a claim after Hurricane Helene flooded their town and country home. They tell me their claim hit a major snag when the insurance adjuster said this 3.5-inch step down means their living room is classified as a basement. And you guessed it, basements aren't covered.
It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous to even come out and say the word basement in the state of Florida is comical. I grew up in New York and I know what a basement looks like. I lived in basements. This is not a basement.
The couple have a policy through the National Flood Insurance Program administered by FEMA. This year's premium was $3,800. The couple tell me this basement label feels like a loophole and they feel cheated.
Because most people think basement underground.
Of course, or even steps. Or even a whole step.
Were you ever told when you were sold this flood insurance policy, ma'am, this is a basement, this won't be covered?
Absolutely not. Measurement wise, it's 4.5 inches coming up into our house, and it's a 3.5-inch step down into our basement.
Those measurements give Jamie hope she can prove her living room is not below ground level and is not a basement. She says she worries others will soon be going through the same thing.
Unfortunately, we're not the only ones that have been told this. So I know some of our friends that got hit with Milton and had similar flooding experience over in Carrollwood. They have a couple of step downs in their house, in their home, like their living room or their den. Those are also considered basements.
I reached out to FEMA and a spokesperson sent me this statement. The National Flood Insurance Program, NFIP, considers a sunken living room a basement when it has a floor below ground level subgrade on all sides. In this situation, the 3.5-inch step down sunken area of the reference home is considered a basement, and there would be limited coverage in this area as a result.
So you watched that excerpt of that video there, and you're probably scratching your head like so many other people across the country were, like, wait a minute, that is not a basement. Why in the world would coverage be denied? Well, let's explain right here why. See, the National Flood Insurance Program looks at foundation types differently. And this is why when you're working with your flood insurance agent, it's so important that you have the right foundation type, that they're asking you questions like, hey, do you have a sunken room in your house? Do you have a walkout basement, a full basement? And if they're not asking these questions, then you should be asking more questions, because foundation types have a major impact on flood insurance claims. In this situation in Florida, you see, if this goes through, this rule has been in place with FEMA for decades, and it's in the manual. And you need to make sure that your flood insurance agent is explaining this manual to you, excluded, what's defined as certain foundation types. For example, Currently, the federal government does not recognize walkout basements. They usually call these elevated buildings with enclosures. They normally define a basement as all four sides that are below ground, unless it's a sunken room. A sunken room could only be an inch below ground where all four sides, and it's defined as a basement, which means coverages are limited typically, the things that make the building safe. Like, for example, carpet wouldn't be normally covered, drywall, any kind of contents other than like a freezer or a fridge may not be covered, like in the situation in Florida. So the one way as a homeowner that you can solve this problem by not losing thousands of dollars is making sure you have the right foundation type. Making sure you're verifying with your insurance agent that they're verifying. Because look, come claims time, you do not want to have this happen. I know, because we help thousands of people every year with flood claims across the country, with so far almost a 100% success rate. And the one thing that we really obsess over at the beginning when setting up that policy is making sure we have the right foundation type. Because look, as a homeowner, you may think you have one foundation, but the government's defining it differently. And that's why working with the right flood insurance agent across the country is a huge benefit. So don't let this happen to you like what happened to this homeowner. Understand how the National Flood Insurance Program defines the foundation types, what's exactly excluded in that policy. So when it is time to pay out that claim, you can go ahead and get that money. I know, because just this morning, we're helping an investor in St. Louis handle 8 claims on properties that just flooded 2 years ago. So we know exactly what to do to kind of get those in, start working on those claims, understand, hey, what needs to be submitted when it comes to photos and documentation, all these things. And look, if you're not sure on a foundation type, go ahead, send photos to your insurance agent. Have them send them to FEMA or the private flood insurance company to verify. This is just one way that you can be safe that when a flood insurance claim happens, you're going to be covered. Because you do not want to end up the way this couple in Florida might end up. I'm Chris, the Flood Insurance Guru, and I hope you've enjoyed today's video talking about how to save thousands of dollars on this one flood insurance problem. Thank you.